Picture profile. EV is at 0. ISO is 200. Shutter speed is 80. And again, there's no picture profile. Menu. Can I change picture profile on the fly? I guess I can't. I'll stop. They're the same. Shutter speed is 80. EV is 0. ISO is 200. Picture profile 1. The sun is setting at my back. You probably can't see it through those trees, but there's the moon in the sky. It's 3/4 full. Moving on to the next profile. Profile 2. Shutter 1/80th. The EV is 0. ISO is 200. I'm not going to touch the focus. The tree is lit up with peaking, so it should be in focus. The lens is a vintage Takumar 24mm, which means it's 36 on the APS-C sensor. It's 36mm. Moving on to the next picture profile. Say the last profile was picture profile 2. This is picture profile 3. ISO is 200. Shutter speed is 1/80th. EV is 0. The bottom of the screen has some zebra showing up. I didn't mention zebra in the last videos. Again, there's a fair amount of peaking in the tree. Again, I'm not sure if you can see that moon. Moving to the next profile. 1/80th of a shutter speed, 0 exposure value, ISO 200, and this is picture profile 3. The actually, I'm not sure what the aperture is set at on the lens. I'll have to check. Moving on to picture profile 5. Profile 5, 1/80th shutter speed, exposure value is 0, ISO is 200. And I just checked the aperture, it's at 16, so it's almost all the way closed. And this is picture profile 5. Slowly losing sunlight here, but I'll try. Once I go through all the picture profiles, I will try, if I can, I will try with a different aperture, a more open aperture. Moving on. So, 200, exposure value 0, 1/80th of a second shutter speed, and this should be picture profile 6. Just let it record for a few more seconds. The manual lens again is set at 16. So 22 would be the most closed aperture setting. Vintage Takumar. Moving to the next profile. Profile 7, again 1/80th shutter speed. The exposure value has moved to 2. ISO 800 as per the picture profile. And we still have some, the tree is still quite lit up with focus peaking. I'm in the shade of a building, the sun is setting behind me, and there's still some sunlight in this birch tree, as you can see. Next profile. Again, no changes in the settings. Picture profile 8, 1/80th of a second shutter speed. The exposure value is +2, ISO 800. And I haven't moved the camera or the aperture. Wait a few seconds, and I'll move on to the next picture profile. For the sake of bottom corner left, has some zebra, and the mid frame to top frame birch is showing some zebra as well. Other than that, the entire frame is zebra free. Moving on to the next picture profile. The last picture profile 9. I haven't changed any settings in the picture profiles. Alright, so we're at 1/80th of a second shutter speed. The exposure value is +2, ISO 800. Manual Takumar lens, a 24mm, which is a equivalent APS-C 36mm, and it's at a 16 shutter speed setting. I'm sorry, aperture setting, a 16 aperture setting. You can probably hear a plane flying overhead in the distance. Now we're going to try a different aperture, which means I'll be changing my shutter speed. No picture profile present. I open the aperture up to 4, and it opens up as far as 2.8. So we're opened up to 4, and we are shooting at 1/1600th of a second. Exposure value is 0, ISO is 200, and I did not change the lens focus, purposely did not change it. If all these videos are out of focus, well, maybe I'll have to start all over again. But there is a fair amount of focus peaking in the tree. There does not appear to be any zebra in the tree. Maybe a small strip in the center of the birch. Moving on to picture profile 1 now. 1/1600th of a second. Exposure value 0, ISO 200. All the other settings remain the same. I'll wait a few more seconds and I'll move on to picture profile 2. Profile 2, 1/1600th of a second. Shutter speed. Aperture is at 4. Exposure value 0, ISO 200. That was a pheasant in the background. Incidentally, I'm using a $10 adapter for AI to NEX in order to use this vintage lens. I maybe spent $10 on it at most, perhaps a little more, under $15 I would say, shipped to Canada from China. Moving on to picture profile 3. Profile 3, 1/1600th of a second, exposure value 0, ISO 200. And we're slowly losing daylight. As you can tell, the tree is getting darker near the base. So I don't want to run out of daylight. I'm going to move on to the next profile. But the same, this is picture profile 4, 1/1600th of a second, shutter speed, exposure value 0, ISO 200. Very little zebra showing up. Only a small strip along the bottom left corner and a small strip where the light shows in the birch. Moving on. 5, 1/1600th of a second, shutter speed, exposure value 0, ISO 200. That's picture profile 5. And again, the difference is the aperture is near wide open. Did you see that bird? Little black bird. Moving on. Picture profile 6. Once again, 1/1600th shutter speed, exposure value 0, ISO 200, picture profile 6. Moving on. Profile 7. This is a log profile, if I didn't mention that before. 1/1600th shutter speed. Exposure value has increased to 1.7. That's a positive 1.7. ISO is 800. Moving on to next profile. Using picture profile 8, which is S-Log 3. Profile 7 was S-Log 2. S-Log 3 at 1/1600th shutter speed. Exposure value positive 1.7, ISO 800. And we're losing some focus peaking. I think that's because we're losing the light. And we're going to move on to the next profile. Picture profile 9, 1/1600th shutter speed, exposure value 1.7, positive 1.7, ISO 800, and there the bird flies away. Back hence it came. Alright, so that's it for these picture profile tests.